Rav, how do we overcome the indifference we have to the friends? And our relation to the 10, that I love it, that I'm willing to include myself in it, and I picture myself, I imagine that in the next state, being in Uba on the second degree, is that I will have to overcome hatred toward them. Right now, it's only indifference. In the next degree, I'll have to overcome a certain level of avyut, thickness, small, but avyut, corrupted, meaning hatred. And I will have to overcome it in order to merge and be an Uba on the second degree. Maybe I should picture the state that I will have in advance, so as to understand that now I have to work against indifference, because indifference somehow kind of disappears from our senses. We can't feel this zero kind of. It's not good, it's not bad. It's just absent from our feeling, this thing of the 10. But if I had in front of me a state or something that I hate, some image that I hate, then you have something to do. It's a little difficult for us. The avyut gives us help, because right now it's only zero. But on the other hand, it's kind of absent from our senses. Our senses don't get it. They don't sense it. So let's imagine a state where we're not like Rabbi Shimon with his friends who really hate each other and want to, each one sitting with a knife in his hand. But that there is some sort of hatred and rejection and demand against others. We got something to overcome and to work with, and we have to get to the opposite, from hatred to love. Love will cover all crimes. But until we picture it, again, we're not talking about living people, about this concept of the 10. Must be very, very clear and standing right in front of us. So let's think, how do we imagine ourselves being even in rejection from each other, so that it becomes clearer to us how to get to connection? And at the center of connection, we enter the next degree in dvikut, in adhesion with the Creator. That's
What are we talking about? We're always looking in, of course never out. There's no bodies, no faces. The 10 is my state, which is better connected. My rejection to this state is that power which connects me back to that root. And by actions and thoughts, I try to reach that state above the resistance.
I have no way to merge with 10 unless with the help of the reforming light. By the hitkalelut, the mingling or the merging, when we create this force among us. In the beginning it's fake, but then we start getting each other excited for real, and then in these actions we draw the light.
When there's nothing towards the friend, he doesn't exist, he doesn't interrupt you in any way. But when some resistance to him starts forming repulsion, then it disturbs you. And then there's room for work, there's room for prayer, annulment, in respect to a common cause, and that's it.
Yeah, but we need to not wait for the bad situation, but just go toward the good. To constantly exalt and extol
Rav,
the 10 in our eyes.
don't think that we're in indifference, as if zero towards one another. It's just that we don't want to go into these things. Like, usual everything's in life, many things in life. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to go into it. It's better this way. Sit and don't do. That's better. But in truth, inside, there are many claims and problems and arguments, but we just don't awaken it, and that's it. Meaning good relationships, as we call it. Good relations. And so, without overcoming them, we won't be able to scrutinize the state, the spiritual state. That's why it's worthwhile. To the contrary, right? It's worthwhile to awaken the darkness a little bit in order to know how to pull the light upon it. What do we do? If we were great, the light would have revealed to us how different we are, even how much we hate one another. Yes, difference means hatred, depending on which level, but yes, it's hatred. So how can we, as if take a looking glass and bring this darkness closer to us, searching for it like an old person who lost something and is searching? How do we discover these arguments, these gaps, these repulsions, all the disorder between us, in order to organize it, correct it, and bring it into the form of the partzuf, the face? Go on. The embryo isn't a zero, it's a viyut of zero, a viyut the shoresh, but it's a construct made of the 10 sfirot. There is no less than 10. There isn't anything like that. Please.
All those things come up when we have duties, group responsibilities, so we start working together. When the group asks you for something,
it means that we need, each one needs to annul himself, and we need to enter one another in connection, to love the friends, to bestow to them, so that this boundary is disclosed. If this boundary is revealed through an action of love and connection with the friends, then you can say that there is a partzuf, there is a demand, there is room for work on the spiritual degrees.
Right. When you try to do something together in order to succeed in this way, and we discover that success and life depend on the friends, and you can't get rid of this thought. You can't get away from it. Our whole lives we run to a place where, fine, now I'm just with myself, I'm dependent on me, and it's very convenient. But if we feel that we are dependent on each other, our very lives, and you can't get away from it, the friends are with me everywhere. And when I look at them, I see that they're not doing what they're supposed to do. Now here is where it gets interesting. We have to start doing things together, serving each other and the society.
Yes, and every effort to increase, to magnify, brings more, observance, and the ego finds all these spices. So it's worthwhile to devote some time to this observation. And the best for this is dissemination, where you have students who are like your children, and there are friends who keep interrupting you. They keep doing damage, and then there's a lot of work.
There are a couple of problems with love. How do we, with these actions, together with the efforts we do, how do we pray? How do we ask the Creator for help to interfere, to take us through like a guide, to do everything for us. In short, how do we turn to Him? With what we do, how do we see His place to interject or interfere with our action?
פשוט פונים כי מבינים שאין שום דבר שצריך להתקן.
We know that there's nothing that needs to be corrected outside, but only my inner disposition towards the friends. And this always brings about a request, a demand for him to correct it.
The prayer is a result of the efforts when we start working among us and seeing that it's impossible and recognizing our inability to do this work. And that yields a prayer from the bottom of the heart for the Creator to complement this act for us.
How do we come to prayer? Prayer comes out on something that, well, you don't have, and it's very painful for you that you don't have it. Where you know that there's no way ever that you can gain it by yourself, and you can only ask the Creator for help. So it's the same here. If we truly want conception, of course, it has to be through the connection between us. Then it'll be truly possible to achieve prayer.
First, we have to picture the real situation, that everything comes from Him. Both the state that I'm trying to study now and the Kli is set up in front of me, which I have to extol now, also comes from Him. And what can I contribute and do for this? And my desire to annul before the process and be a positive part of the system. I raise the prayer to Him. It also comes from Him, but I have to unite it all with Him.